Alright, so I just ran some speed tests with all three of these motors. These two Bosch motors being the same SKU, and they're fairly late models compared to this early model Bosch alternator, well, Altermotor now. And this one with the original core got up to 750 RPM, 1750 RPM at 18 volts. So roughly about 100 kV. And that's with a lot of cogging. So the really strong flux field. And so I made another core for this one so that they are essentially separate. And the core for this one has about 3 times as many magnets as that one. And this one, it's harder to turn it, but doesn't have the cogging like the smaller one does. But it did also get up to 1750 RPM and 18 volts. So it is another 100 kV. But this one has a third of the magnets as this one does. And it got up to 3,400 RPM at 18 volts. So 190 kV. So it goes to show what field flux weakening actually does for the speed of the motor, given that the windings are pretty much the same. I had the same core in both of them, and they both produced about the same RPM. Not sure about the torque, it's just because I don't have a way of measuring it. But double the RPM with 1/3 as less magnets. So if you want a motor that can do really high speeds, then you'll want to use one that has the lesser magnets in the core, and these cores are going to be available on my printables or my Thingiverse page. But if you want one with high torque, let's say if you're making a go-kart or a drift trike, then yeah, you're going to want something with much stronger field flux fields. And so either of these would actually be good high torque motors, and then this would be a good high speed motor. Alright, so I cracked all three of them open, took off their top cover, just so that we can take a look at the cores. This one doesn't like to come out without the stator. So here is the first core with these magnets in there. So these ones are, let's see, these are 30 millimeter length, 10 millimeter width, 5 millimeter depth, and there's 2 sets in each one of these spots. So they're stacked. So it's effectively 30 by 10 by 10, and it is arranged in a Halbach, well, not necessarily a Halbach array. It's more of like a normal switch pole. So we can see the poles, they switch between each one, north, south, north, south, north, south. And this is the one with the really high cogging torque. This one, this is the newer core. This has, well, it has 12 of the ones that are in the smaller one, plus 24 40 millimeter by 10 by 5, and those are doubled up. So this one is quite a bit heavier of a core, but it's got way more magnetism. And this one is actually arranged in a Halbach array. So if you get close enough, you can actually see the small magnets in between. But coming out, the field flux lines actually travel further out when it's inside a Halbach array. And this last one, the high-speed one, actually only has 12 of the 40 millimeter length, 10 millimeter width, 5 millimeter depth magnets. So only 12. So it's a much lighter core, as you can see by the large kind of vent holes. These vent holes are in place so that when it's running at like higher RPMs, it allows for air to cool the plastic so it doesn't completely melt itself down prematurely. Another thing that you can do on the outside is put fiberglass reinforced sticky tape, or you can even just fiberglass the outside of it. That'll help prevent the magnets from flying out and destroying themselves against the stator. But yeah, the links are going to be in the description for all the locations where you can get these. These two are for a 4-inch wide inner diameter stator. So each one of these is 4 inches on the ID, and this one is 3.5 inches. So these are going to be readily available. I am also working on another one for one that will fit 4.25 inches. So stay tuned for that one. That one's actually going to be in a much later model of alternator, or Altermotor. So this one, where it has the square windings, pretty cool. This one is in a Halbach array as well, as you can see. It does not have any cover on it or anything, but we can see, there we go. And this one it's pretty strong in here as well. But yeah, like I said, the links to all the parts are going to be in the description. I'll probably do another video on these, especially this one, once I finish it and get it up and running. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, just put them in the description. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And yeah, take care.